Okay, here comes video on Sunday, the 25th of September 2022. It's just gone 10:41 a.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So this is our weekend futures market recap video. We'll go through 15 of the largest futures markets and show you what I'm seeing on my charts. So that was quite a week. The Fed came in on Wednesday, announced the 75 basis points increase in rates, and destroyed the nice support levels that we'd been putting in over the last week and a half. Second time they've done that in the last several weeks, and we are now down to levels that are absolutely kind of make or break. So I'm going to show you a few charts on the E-mini first before we get to the rest of the futures markets. I'm going to start off with a 15-minute chart. This is the more traditional view of the better indicators, where we kind of break things down into volume and price. On the left hand side we've got better momentum here, showing us the momentum signals. It's a volume based momentum indicator. And we've got better pro-am, which shows us the professional and amateur activity, and that calculation is based on average trade size. Professionals in blue, amateurs in yellow. On the right hand side, everything to do with price, based on this plate of spaghetti below the price bars, which is better sine wave, calculating the cyclical energy in 3 different time frames that allows us to plot support and resistance levels on the price bars themselves here. Supports in red, resistance in white. And this is what we were doing before the Fed announcement on Wednesday. We were building nice support levels around the 3850 to 3900 levels. We had a nice support level on the highest time frame. We'd put in a little pullback to end of trend. On the lowest time frame, we'd also put in a nice little pullback to end of trend right here on the intermediate time frame. And so we had a triple end of trends kind of going off here, 3850s, and that was holding. And then this was the day of the announcement, and we got a whole bunch of junk going on. We sold off, we rallied, we sold off super hard, and 2 down days after that Wednesday announcement. So these support levels that we spent quite a lot of time kind of building kind of just got destroyed. Similar to this kind of uptrend that we had the previous week, where the Fed kind of came in, made some announcements, and all of a sudden we kind of gapped down and bang, bang, bang. I suppose in retrospect, what we should have been looking for is exhaustion sell signals at the bottom here, and what we had was exhaustion buy with this signal and a bearish divergence. Some amateur bars, there's always amateur bars around the announcements, a lot of amateur activity and low average trade size, and we didn't have exhaustion sell on the downside, and that meant that we had a lot of volume that had been taken out trying to buy this breakout that failed and then kind of rolls the other way. So what are we doing down here? We have put in a pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, which is kind of good. We're through support on the intermediate time frame, and we've actually gone through that support on the lowest time frame here, so it's just showing the market is super weak. And I suppose we have not seen an exhaustion sell pattern down here to mirror the exhaustion buy pattern that kind of helps set this whole thing off. So that's not particularly good. We're going to have to put in some more kind of basing energy, similar to what we saw to kind of try and stop this move here. We have to test and test until we start bouncing off support levels instead of slicing through them like we have here. So even though we got a good little rally at the close of Friday, it does mean that we're going to still have to put in some basing energy in order to test into these lows, and maybe we're going to have to see an exhaustion pattern, which, even though the last 2 days were pretty scary down the whole time, with the exception of the little rally into the close on Friday, although it felt pretty steep on the way down, we did not see an exhaustion sell signal down there. And we're sitting at what I'd say is a kind of a make or break level here. Let's go to the daily chart here, because you can see this is where we bounced last time at this 3650 kind of level. Previously, I think the low down here was 3655, something like that, and then we bounced on Friday here with the close, which was relatively strong. Now, last week's video I was talking about overshooting the support on the lowest time frame and being caught by the next highest time frame here, and I was in way too early with last week's trade. So Friday last week I was long, got taken out on my stop, and I thought I was a little bit early, but I was hoping that Wednesday would maybe kind of hold and we get a rally from these kind of lows, and of course we didn't. We sliced through here, took me out on my stop. I'm actually long again as of Friday's kind of closing activity, so I don't know, could be super early again. But at least this time now on several of the index charts we do have that support coming in. Let me just show you on the SPY chart. There it is. So overshot the lowest time frame here, caught by the next highest time frame there. So we've got several of the indices have shown this up with several different ways of looking at it, whether you're looking at the ETF, the futures, or the index. I'd say half or so of the charts are showing that that support is in. But it has to hold. You know, we've got kind of exhaustion patterns, flush patterns kind of down here on the SPY chart. We had a good kind of close, relatively good close on Friday. We need to kind of continue that, close the gap and kind of rally on. So it's a make or break in my mind, because this level is absolutely key. If we don't hold it, we're going to go down and form all kinds of exhaustion patterns, and who knows what Monday and Tuesday's activity is going to be like in order to get those kind of real you know, screaming kind of capitulation type levels. But if it does hold, and this little support that we've got here, show you that on the SPY actually does hold, we'll kind of rally on. A little bit of good news in the futures markets at the moment. Sometimes Bitcoin is helpful in showing us the way for the open on Sunday into Monday's activity. This is the Bitcoin market is still trading over the weekend, and we've just had a signal kind of long around 19,000 on Bitcoin. So let's kind of wait and see what the open on Sunday kind of looks like. But we're at absolutely key levels here, with this potential kind of double bottom being formed and this holding. If that holds, we've got triple situation going on with support on all three time frames. Big things happen at triples, BT hat signals kind of starting to go off here. So this is either the area where the rally will start from, or it's the area that if we break down, we're going to, you know, feel some pain on the way down until we get those exhaustion patterns. Not particularly helpful, I'm afraid, in terms of telling you directionally where things are going, because I've just said, you know, it could go either way, but we're kind of key at these levels. Let's just go down the time frames. The 135-minute chart here, this is the pattern that we're looking for across on this highest time frame to form at that point. Yes, we have blue professional bars coming in at those lows, which is good. We've had an exhaustion sell bullish divergence pattern here. We're positive in terms of better momentum. You know, we might form a flush pattern there, possibly, but if we hold at these levels, that would be good. 45-minute chart, again, we're through these supports, you know, and until we put in bounces of supports, we're just slicing through these supports, support, and we've kind of kept on going through. We need to put in some basing activity in order to show that we're just bouncing off supports before a rally kind of begins. But at least we've got some flush patterns here, blue professional bars happening at the lows there, and the 15-minute chart, again, that support level was destroyed. We're on the way down here. On the 15-minute chart, no blue professional bars, no exhaustion sell, and so on. So I'm not particularly happy holding this kind of long trade into the weekend, but let's see. There might be an opportunity to kind of get out of it and go short if we do you know, kind of test the lows and really get some capitulation type volume in, but kind of long at the moment. Okay, let's look at some tick charts now, starting with the E-mini on a 13,500 tick bar charts. You'll notice on the charts this week I've added in an extra indicator just to show the close of the week with this vertical yellow line. Actually, doing the weekly videos is helping me, in my mind, structure my trading a little bit more in these kind of weekly chunks. So thinking about that and what the plan is for the week is kind of useful for me. So having an indicator showing me what was happening at the end of the week and happened this week is actually quite useful. So the end of last week I was long based on these signals with the triple signals, where we get three non-correlated indicators kind of coming together. And that's why I was long into Monday, Tuesday's trade. But you'll see leading into Wednesday's activity here with the Fed announcement, and this is the Fed announcement here where we initially sold off, rallied and sold off. We had triple signals kind of to go short, and then we had a nice couple of them at the end of the day, which led to this sell-off. So I should have been out and short on that trade, but I kept holding until it hit me on the stop and took me out. But you know, such is life. And I'm long into the close on Friday based on kind of lower time frame charts. But this is potentially going to signal a long signal if we get the break above these blue professional bars Sunday, Monday, because we've had exhaustion sell bullish divergence, which is the one indicator, oversold, the background in red, better sine wave, and the blue professional bars, if we break above the highs of that, the trailing stop will trigger and we'll get a triple signal kind of reversing there, which we've had on lower time frame charts. So that's what's going on with the E-mini. Bonds keep on trying to hold, and we're kind of breaking down with this week's activity. We keep on getting no blue professional bars kind of on this left shoulder. They happen here on the retrace. This is a little bit better, but at this low down here at 112, we haven't had blue professional bars kind of come in here, but it continues to signal on the better indicators. So let's see if bonds end up rallying this week. So it's bonds, and let me show you crude. So crude last week, 2 weeks ago we had nice signals long into crude, and then we kind of topped out just under 90, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of come in here. We had a nice signal short, and we've kind of sold off down to 78. Now at the end of business on Friday, the average trade size was super high on crude. We've broken above the blue professional bars, and we've had exhaustion sell bullish divergence come in, but not oversold. Let's see if we get that oversold signal in the first kind of day or so of this week. But that potentially is an area where crude might hold and start to rally. Natural gas sold off super hard, so we had, similar to crude, we had a nice signal long, and then we topped out with exhaustion buy, a bunch of blue professional bars at 920, 925 here at the highs, and we sold off with triple signals short. No blue professional bars at the lows yet down here, but we have had a bullish divergence signal, so let's see what happens on natural gas. Copper been doing nothing. We had no kind of useful signals for the last 3 weeks here on copper, so who knows. A lot of blue professional bars. That probably would have been Wednesday's kind of trade, where it's winging backwards and forwards. We've got some important econ news coming out, I think, this week, at the end of the week, so let's see if that kind of generates some interest in copper there. Now the ags have been doing nicely, but then this week kind of they fell out of bed. This is signals last week into the beginning of this week with long, but we test into those highs at 700, where we previously had exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, and then the blue professional bars kind of step in and we sell off from there. So it didn't generate a signal, but did show an area where the professionals wanted to sell it down. And soybeans, similar thing. We'd had this big rally, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, no blue professional bars at the highs, but when we came back into those highs, we had exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, more blue professional bars and flush. We broke through the lows, and we're in a downtrend now on soybeans. And I think wheat's the same thing. We've had triple signals here. We had a nice little rally the previous week, set off with exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, generates some triple signals, and we rally into those highs, exhaustion buy, blue professional bars, bearish divergence, flush, bang, we sell off with more triple signals at those highs. So ags are weak, looking forward to this next week, but potentially crude might hold and rally, and maybe natural gas will follow along if we get some blue professional bars at those lows. Now on precious metals, silver first of all had extremely high average trade size into the close on Friday, with all these blue professional bars kind of coming in here, and this signaled on the 900 tip bar chart, and I think the next highest time frame above that as well. We couldn't get through 20 bucks. We had blue professional bars at those highs. We haven't had exhaustion buy at that point. We've had exhaustion sell. So let's see if this area holds with silver. We need an oversold signal on better sine wave, but are we just building here for a support level that will rally back to test 20 bucks? On gold, we have had oversold at this point, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence. We got one blue professional bars there. This needs to kind of trail down at that point. So no signals yet on gold and silver, but that extremely high average trade size on silver has me interested. So I think I showed you the Bitcoin chart earlier, so let's just talk about some of the Forex charts. So Euro here, it's just been destroyed. We cannot catch at any of these levels, not enough blue professional bars down here at the lows to catch it. We've had an exhaustion sell pattern down here, but no blue professional bars coming in at those lows, so we're not holding on the Euro yet. British pound, yes, we did have extremely high average trade size into the close on British pound, so we got some blue professional bars. We've had a bullish divergence pattern kind of come in there. We're definitely oversold, so let's see if we get a turnaround in British pound. Aussie dollar, no, I don't think that's looking all that good, because we had exhaustion buy here at that point here, and that's caused a short covering rally, and we've kind of come back down to 65s. So nothing yet on the Forex contracts. Japanese yen, I don't think this is signaled either. Japanese yen, the central bank intervened with this activity here. They kind of held it and pushed it up. So generated a signal, but there weren't a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of come in here. We've come back down to that breakout level, and that's where the blue professional bars have stepped in. So let's see if the market kind of rallies above 70 for Japanese yen. But I think, you know, the bellwether is going to be the E-mini. Whatever the E-mini does, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the risk-on kind of markets will kind of turn around and start to move in the same direction. Anyway, so not particularly helpful in terms of signals this week. As I said, we're at a make or break level on the E-mini. If we keep on going through and slicing through the supports, then Monday, Tuesday's activity is going to be wild. But if we do get that little bit of a catch on Monday, and this was a double bottom, and the support kind of holds at this point here, then that's going to be really interesting on the upside. So there we go. Hope that was helpful to you, and I'm looking forward to next week's trade.